stops us in our tracks. Bravely we prove in our striving, trudging together each day. Where there's a will, there's a way.
Good morning, everyone. This is hard to do, but it's even harder to do with a cat sitting in my lap. Dude, you're not helping me. All right. There's probably people here already. Yes, there is. The nice thing about cats is at least I feel wanted and needed and wanted and needed. I don't know that I'm going to go for a loved. That's not true. You see my cats, they love me. I take really good care of them. I do. There's something I've been wanting to do, and I got to take care of it right now before I forget, because I keep forgetting. I got to do it now. And I tell you, it's funny because now I walk away from the camera all the time. But when I first started, oh no way I'd do something like that. Morning, Michelle. Morning, Leisure. I got to clean the camera. There's stuff all over it, so it's gonna look weird for a second. Because everything else right here is clean, and the camera's got like me pouring soda, coughing, and stuff. So it's got little speckers on it. But yeah, it probably improved the look a little bit too. It might be why it was going out of Windex. Daily Trudge brought to you by Windex. Get a nice, clean, non-streak shine every time. Actually, it does look better. Oh, we forgot something. There we go. Gotta look all cool. Does look cool though, doesn't it? It does. It does look cool. My stomach hurts. I'm having like bad stomach problems today. Old people problems. You guys remember the song OPP back in the 90s? You down with OPP? Yeah. It used to be other people's problems. Now it stands for old people problems. And I think cleaning it even made me look better. Didn't realize I was so darn good looking. Just kidding. Actually, it's true. I think I was an ugly child. And I only think I was ugly because girls wouldn't pay attention to me, right? Like Fonzie. Yeah. Like Fonzie. That's awesome. Welcome to Daily Trudge. My name's Dion. Oh, I think that's interesting. Let me write back. All right. Welcome to Daily Trudge. My name is Dion. I'm your host, Fonzie. Some of you may not know who Fonzie is. The show Happy Days was pretty popular. And that's where Fonzie from. It's funny you bring up Fonzie because we used to play this game while we were traveling. When I was a kid, it was called Initials. And what you did is you gave the initials of a star, singer, somebody popular. And I always picked Henry Winkler. I was not very good. I was great at guessing and stuff, but I wasn't very good at making it very of a challenge. If you're here, please say hello, whether you're watching the live or the rewatch. I'm a big Henry Winkler fan, so Some of my other favorite actors might surprise you. Little House on the Prairie. Michael Landon. Oh, I don't know what it was about Michael Landon, but everything that guy did, just everything that he did. Scott Bakula, another one of my favorite actors. Vincent D'Onofrio. I'm saying his last name wrong. Currently, he's on Daredevil. I don't care how crappy the show is. If he's in it, I watch it. Same with Scott Bakula. That's how I got through Star Trek Enterprise. All right, let's get started. I'm just yakking. I'm just yakking. Well, no shit, huh? Can't spell today. Who don't know who Fonz? Fonzie's almost as cool. Well, where do you think I got my coolness from? Hey. Hey, that's what he said. All right. So March 6th, today we're reading out of A Day at a Time. It is Hazelden Literature. Hazelden Literature. All right. So match the act with the consequence. And I don't think it's I don't think things happen by accident in my world. It's God driven, man. I just came out of a meeting and several people are still complaining about their DUIs or the consequences of their actions. And before we get started, the first thing that I'd like to say is this: we don't get away with anything in this world. Nobody gets away with anything in this world, good, bad, or indifferent. Okay. Now, consequences are not a bad thing. There's a lot of words that we tend to utilize that, but we alcoholics, all of our consequences were bad. So why would we think of anything else? Right. So we've got to get to a point where we understand, All right. All right. So I kind of disagree. A friend that disagrees with some of my trans statements. Okay. We're allowed to have them. So consequences come in different types of things, right? Different types of things. So reflection for the day. There is no advantage, no profits, and certainly no growth when I deceive myself merely to escape the consequences of my own mistakes. The gentleman he'd been in a meeting that I've been going to for a couple months, and it's the best way to put it. Well, he came in today and admitted that he had been drinking. That he'd been drinking every day, and we alcoholics already kind of know, but we like to give leeway. We want to. I would rather. I don't know. It's a group denial kind of a thing. I had a feeling he was still drinking. I had a feeling that he was still drinking. But at the same time, I want to give leeway. I want to give some respect, right? And today he admitted it. I'm like, okay. But even inside, I didn't even really want to believe it. I didn't. I wanted to go with the fact that he had been sober that whole time, right? So. Hi, Amber. Did you like my message? Lunch break live. I even know when your lunch is. Probably because you've told me several times. And I talk to Amber probably more than I talk to anybody. So when I realize this, I know I will be making progress. We must be true inside, true to ourselves before we can know a truth that is outside us, wrote Tom Merton in No Man is an Island, but we make ourselves true inside by manifesting the truth as we see it. Am I true to myself? Mm, That's really where it's got to start, right? Gentleman that I was just talking about. We all kind of knew the truth. We all kind of knew the truth, right? But until he said it, until it came out of his mouth, until he admitted it, it doesn't exist yet. The problem doesn't exist yet until it is admitted. You know, alcoholics and addicts, and addiction in and of itself kind of comes with a set of stuff. Sorry, my brain's going a little sideways at the moment. So I lost everything that I was thinking of. Well, we're going to match an act with a consequence here. Some people did have a problem with my statement of I don't believe that boys should be in girls' sports. I'm not against trans. I'm not. But the topic was it's hard to speak your truth. And see, it's hard. It's hard to speak our truth. I'm not talking about anybody in general, Amber. There was a gentleman that had come to the meeting today and admitted that he'd been drinking while coming to the meetings and claiming sobriety time. I think that's where the guilt comes from. But the neat thing about AA is we're not witch burners, man. We're not witch burners. We understand. In fact, we all kind of knew. But, you know, there's that set of denial that comes up again. That's what I was kind of talking about with that. So, you know, see what else this has to say. May I count on my higher power to help me carry out the truth as I see it? May I never duck a consequence again. This has been my experience. The longer I duck, agreed, Amber. There you go. There's a, you know, I would be for that. Absolutely, I would. Then give them their own area. I agree with that. Absolutely. You know, and thank you for coming up with a solution. You know, I don't say things. I say things to try and get us thinking about certain things. There's pretty strong opinions on a lot of this. But yet they are opinions. I do know what it means to be scared by being put out. I do know what it means to be afraid to go to the bathroom by yourself. I know what that means. So I want to hear it. Sorry, but you know, I mean, I get it. There's a lot of fear out there. Okay? A lot of fear. I understand it. But I can't take your fear away. I can't. You know, life's hard, man. Life is fucking tough. I mean, you know, when I come on and say it's hard to speak your truth, that's exactly what I was talking about. The fear of being yourself for the consequences that other people that you think you should have because you are who you are. Yeah. I've been called every imaginable name in the book, man. Every imaginable name. You know, I've been threatened a lot because I seek the truth. Death letters. I mean, I had one one guy in jail. I mean, it was a group of like 20 Mexicans after my ass over a pair of shoes. My life was in danger. It was. I know what it means to feel that way. So when I talk on these, don't assume that I don't know what I'm talking about, because I do. So absolutely, alcoholism doesn't know whether whether you're a boy or a girl, and it doesn't give a fuck. And I don't give a fuck either. I'm gonna love you for who you are. Right? I I do more for women's lib and trans than most other people in that area. I utilize my white privilege for equality. You think I don't know that I don't have white privilege? I have white privilege. I have it. So I try and make this world better by utilizing it. I don't abuse it. I make it so that everybody gets a chance at it. And if that means that I need to clear the fucking way and put myself in danger, I fucking do it because I have courage. I have a lot of courage. Okay. I walk through hard shit and I've done it alone. So I want to hear it. I want to hear it. Nobody was there supporting white male Dion when he was going through his shit. And I'm tired of being called a Nazi. Tired of it. I want to hear it. All right. No more name calling. Even yesterday, I was just talking to a friend. She's like, as long as you don't do that, Elon Musk. I'm like, what does this even have to do with any of it? I care about one thing. You having a better life. It's all I care about. Okay. And I will bring up hard shit and I will continue to bring up hard stuff. I know that there's consequences to it. The consequence to it is more courage, less fear. Understanding that I can go through these things. Okay. I've been putting down bullies and getting rid of bullies for 54 years. I'm really, really good at it. Why do you think that number's so low? If I talked on what everybody else talked on, that number would be huge. But I'm not going to go for this fakey, non-honest, let's get to a solution, not get to a solution. All you got to have is a positive attitude bullshit. I will not ride that road. Okay. And I eventually shut up. Well, don't shut up, but you would help a girl alcoholics even if they did Boy Scouts. Yep. I just gave my number to a gay man. Literally. I don't care that he's gay. The program still works the same. Still works the same. Life is fucking scary for everyone. Gotta find our courage. Gotta find our courage. All right. But it's hard to be the first person to stand up with courage. So I'll do it. Then I'll do it. And if you have a problem with it, well, that's your problem. I know. Work on improving, not proving. Yeah. I don't have to prove my opinions. Their opinion. But I've lived this life a long time and I've watched and I've learned a lot. Right? There are people that come to me for advice that you'd be fucking surprised. They run big companies. They're big CEOs. They're people that are movers and shakers. People that have been in the industry for 20 years that call me and ask me for advice because they're going through something. See, we all need somebody, but the thing is there's a leveling ground and it's called being human. And that's all that matters. All that matters to me. Right? And yes, there will be consequences from that. And they will be good consequences. May never duck a consequence again. Consequence ducking became a parlor game for chemically addicted persons like me. Until we lost all sense of relationship between action and outcome. Now that I'm healing, please God, restore my balance. Right? The longer I put off a consequence, the worse it's going to be. When it's bad. If I continue to put off the consequence, it will get worse. Maybe not the actual consequence itself will get worse, but there's an internal consequence to all of these things. How you carry yourself, what emotions you're deciding to feel, right? Resentment leads to anger, and anger leads to heart attacks and strokes. It can destroy your whole body. It can destroy your spirit. Okay. Hate is never a solution in my book. Okay. Are there some things that I don't really like people doing out there? Sure. Sure, I do. You bet. Okay. Do I have control over those people? No, I don't. You know, I meet a lot of people that are very, very naive. Okay. That doesn't mean that they're stupid. It just means that they don't know yet. Okay. I talk to a lot of recovery coaches that say, "Oh, but I was told this." I'm like, "Well, they told you wrong. I'm sorry. This is the way that I understand it." But if I go around poking my finger in everybody's business, saying how they're wrong, coming from me, that they would just call it mansplaining because that's what it would be. Nobody wants to be told what to do. Okay? But what I can do is show by example how it can be done. And I'm doing it. I'm doing it right now. I'm going to do it at 5 o'clock. I'm going to do it again today at 5 o'clock when we have our grassroots meeting. Okay. In a few weeks, we're going to actually, in 6 days, I'm going to do the tour. We're going to start doing the grassroots and in-person meetings. It's growing and it's growing quickly. I got a lot of really cool ideas. See, the world is updated, but AA meetings haven't updated. Today, I'll remember match the act with the consequence. All right. There'll be a couple of things. Of course, the group's got to vote on it. Number one, will it be hybrid? That's got to be up to the group. I cannot make that decision. I would prefer that it's hybrid, but hybrid meetings kind of make it feel a little weird, right? So if you're at the in-person one, what you're going to do is there's going to be a seat where you get to sit when you're sharing. In front of you will be several QR codes. One will be for living sober. Maybe we could put the AA PDF, the PDF for the big book in there. Maybe we can, what we cannot put on there is like everything AA. That is a business and I can't promote that, right? It'll also have the QR code for living sober for the newcomer packet. Yeah. And of course, QR code to donate to the group. We got to get AA meetings. We've got to get a little more in line with the way that the world works now. If we plan on bringing some of these young people into AA and they're going to stick around, well, that means that we need to meet them where they're at, right? Yes, that's exactly what that means. So when I say that I don't want to be a closed-minded old man, that is what I'm talking about. Sometimes things need to change. And I know that in the grassroots group, there's probably people with plenty of ideas on how we can make in-person meetings a little bit more up to date. Yeah. So, um, sorry, several things going through my mind. I got stuff to do today, but I don't feel like I've hit the nail on the head yet. It doesn't feel complete. So we're going to do one other thing here. Give me a random number between 1 and 164.
150.
We'll go to God. We'll go to God. So 150. Where we're going to go. $150 is, it's two employers. I'm going to have to go back to 149 though, because 150 isn't even a full paragraph. So I'm going to go back a little bit. I'm going to start on the bottom of page 148, and we're in two employers. The other day, an approach was made to the vice president of a large industrial concern. He remarked, "I'm mighty glad you fellows got over your drinking, but the policy of this company is not to interfere with the habits of our employees. If a man drinks so much that his job suffers, we fire him. I don't see how you can be of any help to us, for as you see, we don't have an alcoholic problem." The same company spends millions for research every year. Their cost of production is figured to a fine decimal point. They have recreational facilities. There's company insurance. There's a real interest, both humanitarian and business, in the well being of employees. But alcoholism, well, they just don't believe they have it. See, the denial can run deep. In fact, it just came up. I said a guy came in, said he'd been drinking the whole time, and there was a group denial that yes, there was, including me. We kind of knew, we suspected, right? But we already have a lot of people in our lives that are you drinking? Are you drinking? Let me smell your breath. Let me this, let me that. And they interfere, they nag. And we don't want to be those people. So it's a difficult question to ask. Have you been drinking? I think you've been drinking. Now we're assuming, right? Even though in our gut we know it's kind of a weird thing in AA. But at the same time, it also gives that person enough leeway to be who they are, to be as honest as they can be at the time, which may be little to none, but we're going to give it to them because we don't want to run them off either. It's a hard one. It's a tough one. Perhaps this is a typical attitude. We who have collective seen a great deal of business life, at least from the alcoholic angle, had to smile at this gentleman's sincere opinion. He might be shocked if he knew how much alcoholism is costing his organization a year. That company may harbor actual or potential alcoholics. We believe that managers of large enterprises often have little idea how prevalent this problem is. Even if you feel your organization has no alcoholic problem, it might pay to take another look down the line. You may make some interesting discoveries. It's kind of neat. I've worked with one guy in particular. He works at let's just say it's a big business. We're gonna go with that. And he's the right-hand man to the owner. The right-hand man to the owner. And it took a little while, but eventually he did go to his boss, and let him know what was going on. He had a little bit of time under his belt, and his boss was like, I was wondering why you hadn't been drinking. And suddenly his boss is supporting everything that he's doing. Now this man is in a position to be able to help the other employees there that might have a drinking problem. Isn't that cool? That's cool stuff, man. It's neat that we get to be a part of it. Society has changed. There is still some stigma out there. But if you work for a company and you have an alcohol, HR may not approach you. They may just fire you. But if you go to them and say, I have a problem with alcohol, they actually have to do something about it. That's the law, my friends. That's the law. Of course, this chapter refers to alcoholics, sick people, deranged men. What our friend, the vice president, had in mind was the habitual or whoopee drinker. As to them, his policy is undoubtedly sound, but he did not distinguish between such people and the alcoholic. There's probably a good chance that the man saying this is, in himself, an alcoholic. Where the denial is coming from. Oh, we don't have an alcohol problem. Okay. It is not to be expected that an alcoholic employee will receive disproportionate amount of time and attention. He should not be made the favorite. The right kind of man, the man who recovers, will not want this sort of thing. He will not impose. Far from it, he will work like the devil and thank you to his dying day. Yeah. You help that man get back on his feet again. He'll be grateful. He will be grateful that you helped him because nobody else really did. And that person doesn't want to lose their job. They don't want to take the security away from the family. And I know a little bit about business. It's a lot cheaper to send somebody to treatment for 28 days than it is to rehire and train that person and then get the same quality back that you had. It's tough, unless it's telemarketing. I'm just kidding, Amber. It's just, you know, I'm sorry, Amber. I was just making a joke. She hires people for telemarketing. So, and I did a lot of telemarketing myself. All right. Today, I own a little company. There are 2 alcoholic employees who produce as much as 5 normal salesmen, but why not? They have a new attitude and they have been saved from a living death. I have enjoyed every moment spent in getting them straightened out. You know, yeah, they came back from a living death. And when an alcoholic turns his shit around and starts doing the right thing, amazing things will happen. They absolutely will be. Absolutely, yeah. Well, the quality's got to be there. Absolutely. I know what you're saying, Amber. I know what you're saying on that. All right, I think this one's a wrap. So I appreciate everybody being here. I hope you have a great day. I might be back. Not sure. I gotta do some things. Maybe between 3 and 5 somewhere. All right. Thank you everybody for being here. I appreciate it. I love you. You know I do. Peace out and have a day.